This is Robert Merglacci, the Mindshare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine, and welcome to this very special unboxing EdTech edition. As you can see, the Nureva box in the background. I'm honored to have join me this afternoon for a Mindshare Learning Moment, James Rempel, who is the Director of Product Development at Nureva Inc. And today we're unboxing the Nureva XT Classroom Solution. Thank you for joining me, James.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to meet with you.
Well, it is an unboxing event, so we wanted to showcase your box with your lovely friend. And listen, congratulations on the Infocom Best of Show Award. That must be quite an honor for you as the product development director. And
yeah, it's very gratifying to be recognized by Tech and Learning.
And so perhaps you can talk to me a little bit about the inspiration of the XT Classroom Solution. You know, we've been through this pandemic, and as a company, you were very agile in addressing some pressing needs in the education market, particularly in the higher education or post-secondary, as we say in Canada.
That's right.
Space.
Yes. I think everyone had to be agile through the pandemic. So just some context here. We are an audio conferencing company. We make audio conferencing equipment that can cover the entire classroom with microphone pickup. And so we have been working with schools well before the pandemic. But what we noticed with our customers as the pandemic hit is that they were all scrambling to implement technology to support hybrid learning. And they had to do it very quickly. And they were experimenting with lots of different solutions. And of course, our audio conferencing solution is a great fit for classrooms for supporting hybrid learning. But we recognized that they were struggling to put together the whole solution, including the camera and all the cabling and integration between them. And
as
so
you mentioned, the camera, there it is,
yeah.
And it's a tracking camera. Tell us a little bit about the camera.
Yeah, well, we put together our Nureva XT Classroom solution that includes our audio conferencing system and this new CV30 camera.
Which
and so
we've got. It fits very nicely. We have it situated temporarily under the smart board, which there's some history there and about excellence in product development.
Of course, yes. And so the camera is designed actually to mount on the sidewall of the classroom, and it's tailored to cover an instructor at the front of the classroom. So it has a narrower field of view than you would find on a camera designed for a meeting room, and it also has a tracking algorithm that's again specifically designed to pick up an instructor at the front of the classroom. So it uses a body tracking algorithm instead of face recognition, so that it just tracks the body shape of the instructor. It means that if the instructor turns around to face a whiteboard, the tracking algorithm is able to continue tracking the instructor. And then the camera also has preset views that the instructor can control with a remote control as well,
which we have right here.
Great. So and then the other issue we've recognized too is that cabling is always a challenge, especially with USB. And so included with this Nureva XT Classroom solution and the camera itself is a 10-meter USB extension cable. And then we've also included a USB hub, so you can combine the USB cables from the audio system and the camera into a single USB connection. So it's really easy to connect the whole system to a classroom computer or a laptop with one USB cable. And the other important thing here is, USB can be finicky, especially if you're extending over long distances.
Absolutely.
We tested the whole system together, so when you install a Nureva XT Classroom solution, you know it's going to work.
And it is, and we've got it working, and we've got the speaker, and it's incredible sound that it emits. And talk to us a bit, speaking of sound, talk to us a bit about the research behind the impact of proper amplification and student learning.
Yeah, well, a bit of context here. audio conferencing systems include what we call voice amplification mode, and this is included with the product. You don't have to pay extra for it, but the way it works is when you implement this mode, you can connect a wireless headset microphone to our audio conferencing system, and the instructor's voice is amplified through the speakers in our HDL 300 audio conferencing system. So the research is pretty clear that students learn better when they can hear better, and the other issue with large classrooms is that teachers can, it's uncomfortable to talk in a loud voice for long periods of time, and so voice amplification amplifies the instructor's voice,
Right.
makes it easier for students at the back of the class to hear, and then saves the instructor from having to talk in a loud voice all day.
Well, as someone who had voice issues, I had two surgeries actually, and I
It,
was functioning on one
it
vocal cord for 5 years.
yeah, it's not just a comfort issue, right?
No,
It's
there
yeah.
many educators have voice issues because you're constantly speaking and you're oftentimes having to strain your voice. And
Yeah.
that's a good segue to one of my questions around the optimal room size for the platform.
Yes, yeah. So we have we can cover regular size classrooms, so up to about 25 feet by 30 feet. That's usually kind of a typical classroom size. But we also have a larger system that can cover
Hmm.
classrooms up to 30 feet by 50 feet. So that's a fair amount of space to cover. And again, when we say coverage, we mean that we have microphone pickup over the entire space. So for remote
Right.
students, they can hear the instructor regardless of where the instructor is in the room, but they can also hear their classmates, which is really important for keeping remote students involved in classroom discussions and
Yeah.
making
That,
sure that the instructor doesn't have to repeat questions from the students in the classroom for the remote students.
well, the pandemic spawned a lot of innovation, as perhaps this is one of them. And you talk about hybrid and high flex. Let's talk about the different modes of learning and how you've made that impact and maybe a success story.
Yeah, well, and we're all about trying to make it as flexible as possible. But the big benefit of full classroom pickup again is it gives the teacher freedom of mobility. They're not tied to just one area where being close to a microphone, they can walk throughout the class and know
Right.
that the remote students can always hear them. And then the other big benefit is that the remote students can hear their classmates in the class. So it's not just hearing the instructor;
Right.
they can actually feel part of the class experience.
And that high flex hybrid learning at the post secondary uh, or higher ed level is not going away, is it, in many
Well,
institutions?
in our experience, it started well before the pandemic. There was
Oh,
already a move
interesting.
to supporting
Right.
high flex learning. The pandemic acted as a catalyst, and so it really accelerated adoption. And as you say, I don't see it going away. I see it growing.
And let's talk about the Nureva Console and as a secure cloud-based solution, and and there's always concerns around privacy, but it's not a real issue in this case, is it?
Yeah, no, Nureva Console is really about making it easy to manage the technology, and one of the
Right.
common themes we hear when we talk to our education customers is that oftentimes the IT department, the department responsible for deploying technology in the classroom, they're typically small departments. They're responsible for covering a large campus, or even worse, many campuses over a wide geographic area, and they're always stretched thin, and Nureva Console just makes it a lot easier to manage the technology remotely. So from a single dashboard in their browser, they can monitor the health of all of the Nureva systems in all the classrooms where they're deployed, and they can do things like update firmware. They can check audio settings, and we've actually just released a new feature where they can monitor third-party cameras as well. So if you have any camera connected uh,
Amazing.
to a computer running console, it can be monitored remotely.
Fantastic. Talk to us about the installation process. I mean, it came well packaged. It was pretty straightforward. I am a bit of a techie, so
Yeah.
but talk to us about the design thinking around the whole product and
Yeah.
packaging.
It's all about simplicity. So and again, something we hear often from our education customers is that they have limited install stuff, so
Right.
they like products that are easy to install and easy to use. So yeah, our technology allows us to cover an entire classroom with microphone coverage from one microphone array mounted on the wall. So you mount our microphone speaker bar on the wall with two screws, and then there's a single Ethernet cable that goes back to a Connect module that you mount near the computer. And so the Ethernet cable carries power and communication, so it's just the one cable required. And our solution will auto calibrate itself to the acoustics of the room, so you don't have
Awesome.
to spend a lot of time tweaking and tuning settings. It's really just hang it on the wall, plug it in, supply power, and let it do its thing, and you're ready to go. We
And
actually had I was working with a customer in the United States, and they were doing testing our solution in a classroom, and the IT manager actually installed it in between classes and had it up and running for the next class.
Incredible. Well, that must be quite rewarding to you and your team to really be solving those
Mhm.
challenging problems around amplification and mixed modal learning. As many institutions, there's been a lot of criticism around online learning and hybrid learning.
Yeah,
But when you talk to us about the whole design thinking and planning process and advice you might have for institutions who are through the summer months, going through the rethinking process of what school looks like for back to school, because you can offer your expertise and insight in that regard,
sure.
along with the
I
products.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things we've found is it has to be easy to use, right? Instructors and teachers have enough to worry about. They can't be thinking about the technology when they're trying to implement hybrid learning. It's hard enough handling the teaching side of it. So, yeah, a system has to be flexible, and it has to just automatically adapt to what the instructor is doing, and it has to be simple and easy to use.
Thank you for that. Talk to me about some of the feedback you've gotten in your early stages of release.
Yeah, no, we've had some really good interest and early sales with the solution, both in North America and Europe. And again, the getting the Best of Show award from Tech and Learning at Infocom is
Wow.
a nice pat on the back as well.
Yeah, no, kudos to you for that, and I'm sure there will be many more. What gives you hope for the future in education, and what you're seeing from your lens?
I think there's just lots of opportunities for technology to help support the education process, and to me, I think it's all about delivering flexibility. So we're hopefully kind of at the tail edge of the pandemic, but I think what we've learned is that technology can really help us adapt to these challenges, and
Absolutely.
keep students engaged and keep the learning process going.
Well, I love your positivity, James, and your innovative spirit of you and the team at Nureva. How could they learn more about accessing the product and product information?
Yeah, the best way to learn more about Nureva and our products is to visit us at our website. It's nureva.com.
And with that, James, thank you again for your time this afternoon. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Robert. Again, I enjoyed this session, and you have a great weekend too.
Pleasure. That was James Rempel, Director, Product Management at Nureva Inc. My name is Robert Martellacci of the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare.learning to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.